you lovely people, it has been a while, hasn't it? I'm going to today do an update on Amare. I wanted to say quick update there, but it will not be a quick update because, well, I've got about 2 weeks worth of footage and some other stuff to share with you guys. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. If you're watching this video and you're asking, who is Amare? Well, scoot back to the video before this and that'll explain everything that you need to know so far in the story. Everybody who has been keeping up with the story, you'll know that we brought Amare back to our house on the 27th of November. Now, today, at the day of filming, it is, let's have a look, the 15th. So it's been about 2.5 weeks since Amare has been home. Now, the first thing we did when we brought her home, as you all know, is we disease tested her. So we've been having to wait for these disease testing results, which I will share with you throughout the video. Sadly, because we didn't have the results, this means that Amare has had to be kept locked in the kitchen. So she couldn't spend time with the other birds as she could carry disease on her body. So this means that she could easily spread disease through her down fluff or her feathers, or as Daddy Human hates us calling it, dander. For this reason and a few others, she's been kept completely locked in isolation, which I know isn't nice, but for the safety of her and our other birds, it was better for everybody. While Amare has been in isolation, we've been really working hard on splitting our time up between everybody because obviously we want her to feel included already in the home and to get comfortable with us. But at the same time, we've had to deal with our own birds, which have been getting very jealous of not getting enough time. They can all hear each other, which isn't great because we've had quite a lot of screaming matches over the past few days. So, you know, our house has been a little bit hectic. With Amare being in quarantine, we're kind of restricted onto what we can work on with her, but we've started making her a bit more comfortable around us. You can see that when she first came to us, she was very much stepping up on our knuckles, which, okay, totally understand considering she has her foot injury. And we've been really heavily working on getting her to step up on her fingers. It takes a lot of time, you know, to build that confidence up with a bird, especially if they don't know if they can trust you. And totally get why she's taken a while, but you know what? We are so proud of how far she's come. We've also been working away at her recall a little bit. So those of you who have seen Amare in the past know that she absolutely loved to recall. And she's already loving it again now. She actually did it on the very second day since we brought her home. So, you know, she's doing really well. We've been expanding distances and trying to encourage her to again land on her hand rather than on her knuckle, because whenever she lands on our knuckle she tends to slip because of her bad foot and then she loses that confidence and then flies away. Now obviously we're wanting to build her up, not knock her down, so the more we can encourage her to land on her hands or on her fingers so she has good grip, the better. I know a lot of you will probably be wondering, are we going to free fly Amare? And the answer to that is most likely. So for those that don't know, free flight is flying the bird outdoors unrestrained. Majority of our birds do free fly. If they don't, they are in training, apart from sweet little Paco, who is blind in one eye. Yes, okay, Amare has a disability, so how is free flight going to work? Well, in reality, free flight could actually help her a ton. How, you may ask? Well, remember, she's got a damaged foot, so the less time she spends on that foot will be beneficial for her. By free flying, she'll be spending a lot of time in the air, exercising a lot, stimulating her mind, so she'll be spending time off that foot. Keep in mind, she can't hold toys. She is restricted of how much she can stimulate herself. So, thanks to free flight, we will be able to offer even more stimulation. This will obviously take a long time to achieve because we have to work up her confidence considering the bad foot. She's already proving that she's doing incredibly well, so I don't think it'll take too long before we've got her back out, but before we can go anywhere with her, we have to make sure she's carrier trained. So this is something that we've started doing kind of from the first few days of her being home. We did try her in a dog crate first, but because it's so heavy, we'd prefer if she'd be able to go into a backpack type setting. Now I'm aware that the backpack in this video is very small for her, and we will be expanding it in the future. This is just what we had in the cupboard, but you can see that we've been taking our time quite a bit introducing her to that. So initially she's very scared, she's very wary of it, and then she started going in to get her treats. Now you can tell from the video, we're not doing anything. We're just popping the treat in places and moving away, and eventually we're just leaving the treats in the carrier and she's basically training herself. Now what we're doing there is we are making the entire training process her decision. So the entire way she is under the impression that going in that carrier is her idea, that she wants to go in that carrier, which is going to make the process a lot easier for us in the long run. As you can tell by the end, she's already in the carrier. She's not the most comfortable and she wants out quite quickly, but she is in the carrier, which is amazing progress. And you know, other than doing plenty of step up, plenty of recalls, carrier training, we've just been hanging out with her. You know, getting her comfortable around us, because we are still going to be scary people. We're going to have to earn her trust. So there's no point just working away at training. We'll need to, you know, chill with her as well. We've been sitting around with her in the kitchen, she's been flying around, and she's been loving telling us off a lot. Sometimes she gets too grumpy to step up and she'll scream at you. Or she'll lunge or even growl at you. I know that we shouldn't laugh at this, but we can't help it, to be honest, just because she's always had such a big attitude for a small bird. Don't get me wrong, it is tricky to work with, but man does this bird make us laugh. A few of you may be wondering what we are feeding her right now, and to be honest, we were initially planning to keep her on a diet she was on in her last home, but her previous owner had informed us that she actually didn't like the pellets that much, which is fine by us anyway. We've been feeding her a chop in the morning, which initially she was very taken aback by and she didn't want to have any, and now she devours it in seconds. She absolutely loves it. So if you guys don't know what chop is, I will be releasing a video about that in a couple of weeks' time, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, we're feeding her chop in the morning, then she's getting a couple of nuts for training, a little bit of seed here and there, and then for dinner she's getting a dry chop, which again we will be releasing a very quick video about. We're not as knowledgeable about this, but Mikey the macaw and family are doing a whole video about dry chop, so go to them for that. But yes, we are feeding Amare a dry chop in the evening with a little bit of pellets. Now I know some people are for pellets and some people are against pellets, and that's fine, you know. We're doing what's working for us right now, and we're planning to change it up again in the future. Just right now we have a few pellets left in the cupboard. We've got a bird that doesn't like pellets and is quite picky. Well, we've got a few of them like that. So we're trying to get through our pellets and see if we can make our guys less picky, because picky birds often have deficiencies, and that is not great. This is where pellets come in handy. I won't lie to you guys, waiting for disease testing results is incredibly difficult. And I am not a patient person, don't know about any of you, but I really am not patient. So having to wait this entire time for any disease results was killing me. Hey everyone, so the results for Amare are here, and my partner Nash has forced me to basically film my live reaction for you guys. So I've got my laptop right here, and you're not going to get to see my emails because, well, they're mine. But here we go. If it's bad news, well, you're gonna get to see me die a little inside, and if it's good news, then you'll get to see me partying. So here we go. You ready, Pekka? Awesome. Okay, so good news so far. She is negative for polyoma and beacon feather. Chlamydiosis is still pending, and bornavirus is still pending, so we need to wait a little bit longer, which is annoying, but 2 out of 4 diseases are negative, which is amazing news. So just 2 more to go. Really annoying that they've not sent all of them through yet, but well, what can you do, I guess. So yeah, just got to wait for the other 2 now. After getting half of the disease test results, I was calling the lab back daily just because I was so impatient. Like, I literally couldn't wait. I felt so bad for Amare being stuck in quarantine. I felt so bad for the other birds because we had to split our time so much. You know, it was very hectic, and this is something that you have to consider when you're getting another bird. Disease testing or not, you're going to have to quarantine them. And I do recommend disease testing because there isn't really much point in quarantining unless you're disease testing. Birds hide disease as well, so. Hello everyone. So Amare's second results arrived. I've not opened the email yet. I am terrified. Here we go, I guess. You can see my laptop there, so. Okay, so we still have 1 result pending, but she is negative for chlamydiosis, which is fantastic news. So,
One more to go. Knowing that we're having to wait, but yes, okay, negative for chlamydiosis, that is really good news.
Good morning, Amare.
Guess what? I have some good news. I have some good news for you. Did you know you don't have 3 out of 4 diseases? We're just waiting for the last one now, baby. Yeah, and then hopefully you can move into the bird room. I know, it's a bit much, huh? I know.
You can probably tell from the video that I was pretty disappointed that we didn't get our disease testing results yet. But you know, nothing that we could do, so I just kept calling back and harassing the company. Downside to being an impatient person, but like I said, I just felt bad for Amare. And eventually, the day came where we found out if Amare could or couldn't be reunited with the rest of the flock.
We are going to ignore the state of me right now, but we are incredibly happy because Amare's negative for everything, like literally everything. Yes, I am bouncing up and down like a little child because now Amare gets to move into the bird room, and it means that we can actually introduce her to the other birds again, and it's going to be a lovely reunion. So anyway, ignore me running around the house right now, which you're about to see, and moving her into the bird room and stuff, but it's going to be a very exciting time for us and for her.
Seeing her see Paco for the first time in a year and 2 months was honestly such a heartwarming experience. Now, Paco doesn't tend to like clinging to cage bars, he prefers sitting on perches, but the fact that he moved himself as close as possible to Amare and just stared at her was adorable. Also, I wish I filmed it, but he was dancing for her and he just got so excited to see her. She was quite excited as well. I know you can't tell in the video, but the fact that she stayed in one spot looking around for him was a lot, considering she's not been as expressive with her emotions. Then came the massive moment we have all been waiting for, finally reuniting everybody. I say everybody, you'll notice that the macaws are not here, and that was for the very good reason that we didn't want to mix everyone in too suddenly. It was already going to be a lot for the cockatiels and Amare to see each other again. I would rather that they form themselves as a little flock, and then we add the macaws in later once Amare is already comfortable with the cockatiels. Honestly, the second that Nash took her out of the cage and started walking upstairs with her, Amare just knew. Like, she knew what was happening, and she took off and she flew right into her living room. She remembered exactly where she was meant to go. And it was lovely to see that the second she got to the living room, she was actually quite comfortable. She was instantly wanting to recall, you know, she was just so happy to be back and be part of a flock again. Don't get me wrong, they were scared of each other at times. If the tails flew, Amare flew, and then she'd scream, and then they would freak out, so they would fly longer, and then she would freak out, and obviously because of her foot, she's struggling to land at times, so she'd be missing landings and panicking more and ending up in places that she didn't feel comfortable, which was not helping her confidence. But by the end of the evening, they had all calmed down quite a bit, and they were enjoying foraging for some dinner, which was incredible to see. A few of you may be wondering why we didn't introduce them earlier, and to be honest, I wanted them to see each other through the cage bars first and judge their interaction like that. Then I wanted to leave them for a little while, just so they had that chance to sort of get to know each other, learn that little bit about each other before releasing them together. And in the evening, parrots are often known to be a lot calmer, a lot quieter. So we wanted that. We wanted them to be calmer and quieter when meeting. If we took them out first thing in the morning, I can guarantee you things wouldn't have gone as well, because they would have all been too hyper to focus and then would have freaked each other out. So because it was later on in the evening and our guys are used to getting dinner around that time, they chilled out very quickly and they just focused on eating. And because of that, they were all eating together, and that was increasing that flock mentality and slowly accepting Amare into the flock. As you can also tell from the videos of Amare flying, she's getting so much better at landing now on us. She's no longer missing landings and panicking and flying away. She's actually landing on her hands now. And what we figured out is we have to have her hands facing Pam up, because then she's got a nice flat surface to land on and she can grip if she wants to, but she's not going to miss that. It's a nice big zone to land on. We're going to keep working on that with her, and I guess we will do another video in a few months' time updating you guys on how she's getting on. You know, for now we are incredibly happy with the progress that she's made, and we're just incredibly happy to have her home. But anyway, I will leave you guys there. So, see you all at the next video.
And a nighttime snack for the little girl. Good girl. After a busy day of getting reunited with the flock, it is now time for bed. Yes, it is. Night, Amare. Time for bed now. There we go. And just like that, and night night to you guys as well. Yeah? We'll see everyone tomorrow morning. Night night. We love you.